Okay, in this video, I'm going to teach you guys one of the main principles that I've learned when I started to run not just my physical therapy clinics, but also when I started to work with other PTs in the industries, chiros, massage therapists. And one of the things that I realized is that a lot of owners, what they want is they want really, really quick results. They want to be able to go from where they're at right now to $1 million clinic, or they want to open up multiple facilities, and they wanted to do it as little time as possible. There are some owners that come in and they absolutely crush it, and they do that, right? But they're a very specific breed, right? Most owners, what they have to do is, if you understand the learning curve, where you start to go ahead and grow, and then you hit this level, it's called sustainment. You gotta kind of sustain a little bit, and then you hit this little bit of a crossroad where it's just like, do we grow again? Or if we're not growing, you guys heard the analogy before, you're dying, right? So it's one of those things when we start to look at the success curve, it's like we hit growth, we sustain, everybody cool, everybody okay, and then we go ahead and grow even further. This is where you guys need to understand that big things take time. Growing a business takes time, right? If we look at companies like Coca-Cola, and they've been around for a very long time, but they didn't just get to where they are right now, or even Amazon, right? So if you look at Amazon and have that picture of Jeff Bezos where he's sitting in the garage and he's got the Amazon up in the background, he's got the books and he's giving the thumbs up, right? He didn't just grow in 1 or 2 days. It takes time. So just understand this. Well, what do I mean by that? If most owners, now in the beginning, because I know some people watching this video are gonna be like, well, I grew 400% in like 3 months. Okay, if you're a startup clinic, you're going to be able to grow exponentially up to about $1 million, okay? And that usually takes anywhere between 4 years or less. Some owners do it in a year, some owners do it in 2 or 3 years, some owners do it in 5 years, right? But most owners, if they stay in the game long enough, within 5 years, they're gonna be able to grow to 3 or 4 providers and make $1 million in revenue. However, once you get to about $1 million in revenue, we start to see that it's going to be about a 30% growth per year. And that's usually equivalent to about 1 to 2 PT hires until you get up to about 5, 6, or 7 clinics. Then you're gonna be able to hire in the 3 to 4 PT hires per year, okay? But 30% growth each year, it doesn't sound like a lot, okay? Most owners are like, well, I wanna do 500% growth and all this. I get it. But 30% growth compounded over 10 years is a 1,200% growth business and an 8-figure company, which most clinic owners don't get to $1 million, let alone 8 figures. Right. So I wanna let you guys understand that, like, when you guys are growing your business right now, you wanna be able to implement things that are going to improve your product, because you cannot grow and be in the game long term if you do not have a good product. And when I say have a good product, like, sounds very loose, but like, what does that actually mean? I want you guys to look at how many evals you actually have being generated each month, quarter, year, and how many of them are actually successfully graduating. So go into your EMRs, look at your discharges, look at your evals, divide them by each other. Evals or graduations, divide it by evaluations, and what is your success rate? The reason why I mentioned that is ours was like 20%, right? We thought we had a really good product, but at the same time we had all these evals coming in, and we didn't have a lot of people coming through the backside, right? So it was one of those things that we wanted to be able to say, like, hey, for every patient we brought in, they were able to go through our process and graduate successfully. And that's what I want you guys to really, really focus on. And first of all, you have to make sure your patients are getting a physical transformation. They're actually getting the results that they want to come in for. Number 2 is you want them to become a raving fan and have a raving fan transformation. People are coming in as skeptics. You then want them to become a believer, and then you want them to actually become an advocate. That's the 3-step process to getting someone to transform from skeptic to believer, believer to advocate. One of the easiest ways to bridge that gap is trust. So people always ask, like, well, how do I get someone to go from a skeptic to a believer, right? You take them from a state of confusion to get them into a state of clarity, and then once they have a clear picture of what success looks like, they're gonna then let their friends and family know about you. So then the last thing that we're gonna do, which is kind of like, hey, we're gonna do this really like, overt thing where we make sure that they know that they're getting results and getting better, into a covert thing where behind the scenes, we're actually creating a personal transformation. Because what that patient doesn't realize what we're doing is we're helping them become a different person while they're inside of our facility and getting the results. And what I mean by that is that they first come in pain and they start going through the process, and now they get more energy, they're upbeat, they're positive, and then they're going to tell everybody about how amazing the experience was. But most importantly, we get to raise their hand and we get to say congratulations on doing all the work over the past couple weeks and getting the results, and then that way they have achievement, because most individuals have never had their hand raised their whole entire life, and it's one of those things that like we want to make sure we celebrate that. So those are the three things to understand. We want a physical, raving fan, personal transformation, and we need to understand when we compound that over an extended period of time, that's when big things are going to happen. So if you guys like this content, go ahead and go follow and subscribe to our page. And then also if you want to learn more about using some of these principles to grow your business, go ahead and click our link in the description. I'll see you guys in the next video.